Northern Dancer, the most successful racehorse and stallion bred in Canada, could have been a greater bargain than Round Table, where he was priced at $25,000 as a yearling of 1962, but there were no buyers. By spring 1964, Northern Dancer, trained by Horatio Luro and still owned by his breeder, E.P. Taylor, was preparing for the Kentucky Derby. Favored for this derby was Hill Rise, a tall, long-striding Californian. On the first Saturday in May, Northern Dancer pranced out sporting saddlecloth 7, while the favorite carried number 11. It was to be a thrilling derby, a 7-11 derby.
And they're off. Breaking from the gate, Mr. Brick on the inside, Will Rad on the outside, Royal Shuck on the extreme outside.
The run for the Roses started well and held no surprises through the early running. Mr. Brick, Royal Shuck, the Scoundrel, and Will Rad made the pace first time past the stands, with Hill Rise under Bill Shoemaker going easily in 6th place, just ahead of Northern Dancer and Bill Hardtack.
Royal Shuck on the outside, Mr. Brick on the inside.
As they went into the first turn, Hardtack, who rode a brilliant race, moved Northern Dancer into 6th place, and from this point to the wire would see to it that Hill Rise would never head his mount.
With Hill Rise. Further back, it's Mr. Moonlight, Roman Brother, Extra Swell. Then it's Ishkuda and Dandy K.
Northern Dancer is not yet 3 years old on this day and stands just above 15 hands, but has a stride that looks 2 sizes too big and a quickness not equaled by Hill Rise.
Now Will Rad is moving up. The Scoundrel moves on the outside to 4th. On the inside, Quadrangle is 5th. Northern Dancer is now 6th. Hill Rise is 7th on the outside. Mr. Moonlight on the inside.
Nearing the far turn, Hardtack sends Northern Dancer after the leaders. Hill Rise, checked momentarily by racing traffic, takes off after the Flying Canadian.
Northern Dancer has now moved to 3rd and also moving to challenge. Further back, Quadrangle, Hill Rise moving on the outside.
Into the long stretch, it's Northern Dancer taking command, with Hill Rise coming on the outside. Northern Dancer on the lead by 2 lengths, and Hill Rise driving courageously under extreme pressure from Shoemaker. The big horse keeps trying, but at the finish, it's the Canadian Bulldog winning it by a neck. Hill Rise 2nd, and the Scoundrel 3rd. The time of 2 minutes established a new Derby record. Two weeks later at Pimlico, the two rivals met only 4 others for the second jewel in racing's Triple Crown. Trainer Horatio Luro and jockey Hardtack were brilliant in their handling of Northern Dancer. At the start of the Preakness, the Canadian colt was sent from the gate smartly and raced 3rd to Big Pete and Quadrangle to remain in good striking distance. Hill Rise, meanwhile, raced outside the 3 into the first turn and never seemed to find his best stride. Only a few people close to Northern Dancer knew that the colt had been running on a patched hoof to alleviate a quarter crack suffered in training, and no one knew whether or not this then revolutionary treatment would be successful. At the final turn, Northern Dancer turned back his final challenger and coasted home. Quadrangle, who finished 4th this day, would come back to win the Belmont Stakes and prevent a Triple Crown sweep. But the best horse ever bred in Canada had no match here in Maryland. Northern Dancer's owner, Edward Plunkett Taylor, is the world's all-time leading breeder of thoroughbreds, having sent out more than 200 stakes winners. Northern Dancer was foaled at Taylor's Winfields Farm near Toronto, being sired by the magnificent Nearctic. His dam was the native dancer mare Natalma, and Northern Dancer would retire to one of the most phenomenal stud careers of any thoroughbred ever, standing at a fee of $225,000, no guarantee. His last race was the 105th renewal of the oldest race on the American continent, the Queen's Plate. The Lieutenant Governor of Canada would later present to the plate winner the traditional gift offered each year by the ruling English monarch, 50 gold guineas. Canadian racing fans turned out to cheer a national champion, they were not disappointed, for Northern Dancer easily sped away from a retreating band of opponents to win Canada's most cherished classic by 7.5 lengths. A wrap tendon in New York forced his early retirement, but Northern Dancer met and defeated the best of his generation.